Hello my good people, welcome back to another video of Little Scratch. This is episode number 5 and today we're going to talk about loops and iterations in DART. If you are probably you're confused, maybe you've never heard what iterations are, don't fret, don't panic, I got you. Iterations are just like a fancy word of calling repetition, right? Repetition, the thing that you do over and over again, like um going late. Let's say when I was a kid, I used to run errands to the market and back, run errands to the market and back. So like as I was running, coming back, running back, I was repeating the same task again and again and again. So that's basically repetition, iteration. Or when you're eating, when you put the spoon in the food, spoon in mouth, spoon in food, spoon in mouth, spoon in food, spoon in mouth. That is the same task, but you're repeating it over and over again. So in the programming context, we also have iteration, whereby we have in our program we have some sections whereby we need to iterate over. Okay, and there's several applications to how this might come in place, and we're gonna look at when you write the code. Talking about code, in that there are three ways of using iterations, three main ways of using iterations, and most preferably called loops. Most people call it loops. Like everyone calls it loops. Yeah, loops, just the same thing. Okay, don't get messed up by that. In that, we have three ways of using loops in your application. Number one, we have the using while. Number two, do while. Number three, for loop. We're going to look at how each one of these works and yeah, the code. So let's just dive in and check it out. And if you have any questions, feel free to write them down in the comments and I'll be happy to respond to them. So without much further ado, let's dive into the code and see. Right, this is our empty VS code. Being empty because we only have the main function at the moment, nothing happening, and if we run it, it's expecting it to have nothing. So we are starting with the while loop. The while loop, I would say, is one of the easiest way of explaining how loops work and how loops function, because it's more forward from the while itself, like from the word itself, while. This means that while a particular condition is true, execute something. Okay, so while this is true, while condition is true, do something. Okay, the basic syntax for that is this way. While, you have your while over there, and inside the while we have true, which is okay. Then we have your curly braces after that, whereby inside the curly braces is where your execution body comes in. You dig? The execution body comes inside the curly braces. So while is the keyword that we need to use, and inside the brackets parentheses we have the true. Just true just basically just stands for conditions that you want to check. And right now, actually this is a condition by itself, because while true meaning that this thing is true already. We can maybe like write something like hello world. Let's just try to print that out. Hello world. Yeah, that's my rooster. If you heard it, don't mind the noise in the background, please. Yeah, so while true, print hello world. This is true already, and if we print hello world, it will run. It will run, but there is a catch. The catch is hello world. Okay, this particular program is true, meaning it will always stay true. And if I run this loop right now, we'll end up getting an infinite loop, meaning it will be a program that never ends. And let's just see that in action. But warning, this, even though it might not throw errors or warnings in your code, it might make your machine, laptop, computer malfunction in some way because it might hang. Why is that? Because every iteration uses some bit of memory, and so the more you run this infinite loop, the more memory gets used, and it might start hanging along the way, and you don't like hanging. So let's save that money for the technician and just do the right thing. But I'm gonna risk it. Yeah, what I mean. So like If we click on start debugging, we can see hello world and we can see some numbers skyping over there. They're really crazy, going fast, and each number symbolizes an iteration. And let me just stop it because I don't want to mess things up. But each number that has run has it symbolizes an iteration has occurred. So currently you can see there is 8,506. This means that it has run 8,506 iterations to get to execute this particular program, which is okay. Just showing here that this condition, how it works and how the while loop works in general. But you may ask, is there a way of breaking out of this infinite loop without having to press that stop button? Yeah, okay, there is a way, but not entirely in runtime. So runtime is when you've already compiled your code and it's running already. So runtime is running, but you can do it when before clicking the run button, right? Because if you're quite sure that this thing will be an infinite loop, like I'm 100% certain that it will be an infinite loop. I can just write the break keyword over there. So like break, the reason why it's color purple, it's because it's a keyword. And it basically just breaks out of a loop. It breaks the iteration chain and it stops the program from iterating further. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So if we run this right now, what do we get? What do we get? We will see hello world and exited. Yes. So hello world is the thing that has been printed over here. So basically what this loop does is this. It checks it's true and it says, yo, it's true. You're right? Yeah, you're right, it's true. You've told me to print hello world. Did I do that? Yeah, you did. You just printed hello world over there. So okay. Yeah, it's fine. And then you told me to break. Are you meaning you want me to exit this loop? Yes, I did mean that. Okay, so exited. That is why you can see exited over here and the loop doesn't continue. Thanks to the break keyword. Let's give a round of applause for break. Just clap for break. Clap for break. It's a clap. Applause. And now, let's start talking about the logic stuff, the real stuff, okay? This is just like demo purposes. What if we want to play with numbers? Like, let's just play with numbers and see how loops interact with numbers. Okay. Now, inside our main function, let's say we have a variable. Let's just declare a variable int x and call it 5. So int x is equals to 5, which is okay. Then we might add a condition and say x, if x is less than or equal to 5, do something. Hello world. If we run that, it will say hello world, then it will exit. It will exit because this is an infinite loop. Is it an infinite loop? How am I? I am 100% certain that this is an infinite loop. Why? Because x is equals to 5, and our condition is saying is x less than or equals to 5. That's what it's checking, and our program is like yeah, it's pretty much is 5, and that is why it prints hello world and then it breaks. If we didn't break it, we will end up having an infinite loop, which will cause what I just told you earlier, the memory issue. But that is basically what will happen. Okay. Now, let's say we want to play with these numbers and maybe print out 1 to 5 and see how will we do that. So how I'll approach that is this way. So this is currently x is equals to 5, and the only checks if x is less than or equals to 5, and it basically just stops at that. If we print x at this moment, let me show y'all. If we print x here, what we would see is number 5. Number 5 is over there. We only see number 5 and then it breaks. But we want to, let's say we want to print 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do we do that? Easy. Very simple. First of all, we just change this x and make it 1 for now. And then remember when we talked about operators and we mentioned the increment operator, the one with the plus plus. So what plus plus does, it adds 1 to the specified variable, right? Let's say it's x. It adds plus 1 to that particular variable. Let's say here, if we say x plus plus, then we run this code, what will we see is, wait for it, we would see 2. We would see 2 because x initially was 1, then we have incremented x to 1 again, so making it 2. So in this case, we want to run this loop and increase x by 1 every time this loop happens. So how we'll do that is, instead of having break over here, let's replace the break with the x plus plus and see what will happen. And if we run this code, let's see, fingers crossed, 1 2 3 4 5. Why? Because we have iterations happening over here. The first iteration, it checks if 1 is less than or equals to 5, which is okay. It's true, it's less than or equals to 5. Then it prints out the value of 1 over there. And then the next one, it checks for, okay, it doesn't check necessarily, it increments it. So like x automatically gets incremented plus 1. So it becomes 2 now. So this value of x, 1, it's 2. Okay? So the 2 again comes and checks if 2 is less than or equal to 5, and clearly 2 is less than 5. So it prints out the value 2. And then the same process happens again. So like it loops over the same thing, like it iterates the same thing, like it does the same thing over and over again until it reaches a point where this statement over here will be false. And it will be false if it is 6. So 6 is not less than or equal to 5. That is why it exists at 5. Okay, I hope that's solid. I hope that's clear. You might ask yourself, like, maybe what if I wanted to print the reverse order instead of having it from 1 2 3 4 5? How will we do it, like 5 4 3 2 1? So for us to do that, we will need to do some changes. Okay, we need to do some changes to it and say, now instead of x is equals to 1, x is now 5. Then instead of x being less than or equal to 5, x become greater than or equals to, okay, x become greater than or equals to 5. Then we will, instead of it being incremented, it's decremented. So the first thing x comes, the first time it checks is x greater than or equals to 5. X is 5. Okay, so it will print 5. Then after printing 5, it will decrement x to 4. And then it does that over and over again. And when you run this code, that will be the result of this particular output, which is 5. Okay, that feels shaming, but I know why. So it is 5 that way because this execution, like, it just stops from here. But if we do this, let's see what will happen. Print a print x, and if we run it, oh, okay, now no, what's really happening here? Okay. Oh, all right, so I just realized it. Instead of having this, like, x initially it was x greater than is equals to 5, which that is why it stopped at that one iteration, but we needed to change it. We needed to change it to 1. So like every iteration does happens, it will check until it gets to this particular value of 5. That is why it prints out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 eventually on the right. Hope that makes sense. Okay, nice. So let's move on to the other statement, the do while loop. So do while is basically just like kind of a brother or a sister, but not twin of a while statement. They actually the opposite. Since our while statement does this, like a while, we have the while, then we have the condition, and execute this thing based on this particular condition. Okay, but what a do while loop does, it is like basically saying based on this condition, do this. Okay, based on this condition, do this. All right. Wait, no, I'm saying while is based on this condition, do this. Yes. While loop is do this based on this condition. Yeah, that's the thing. Do this while this is true. Okay? That is why it's called a do while loop. Do this while this is true. Hope it makes sense. So how do we do that or implement that in code? So it's just basically like this. We have the do, then you add the curly braces. Then at the end we have the while, which in turn will have our condition. Let's say we just use the same one. How do we use this? So our condition is our let's just say what we want to do first of all. We want to print x, and then so print x and then you can decrement x based on this condition. So while do that while x is greater than or equals to 1. Okay, so let me just comment out this statement first of all. When we run this, when we run this, we get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but now using a do while loop. So see, difference between a do while loop and a while loop. Let me say again, a while loop based on this condition, do this. Do while loop, do this based on this condition. I hope that's clear. Right, you can go and play with this do while and while. More other examples, more fun than that were what we've just done. And yeah, if you have any questions so far, just pin in the comment below and we'll be happy to respond to it. Next is a for loop. Now for loop comes with a slightly different kind of syntax, but fun at the same time, and turns out is most people's favorite, me included. I use the for loop like almost all the time. Yep. So we have this for loop over here, and we first of all just declare the for keyword. Then inside the for loop, the first thing is to do is we define a variable and assign it a value. So let's say we have I, int I, and let's say give it a value like let's say 1, right? Then after that we add the condition, right? So our condition could be I is less than or equals to 10, something like that. Then add a semicolon. Your program can end here, but if we check on like if we print this one, I is equals to 1, then I is less than or equals to 10, print something. What will happen? We will have an infinite loop because this is true. Clearly it's true because 1 is less than 10, obviously. Yeah, so we will get an infinite loop saying do something, do something, do something, do something, do something multiple times. Do you want me to test it out? Let me just risk it and see. Let's see. Let's see. So we have the first one is just the do, but this is do something, and you can see the digits that are spiking on the left of it. And this is me struggling to click the stop button because I'm panicking literally right now, and it stopped. Yay! And yeah, we can add something right over here just to stop. Like we don't want to do something, we actually want to print 1 to 10. Okay, so what you can do, because we can now, like unlike the while statement whereby we inside the function body we yeah, not function body, the loop body where we could like do the incrementation or decrementation. For a for loop, we do that inside the parentheses. So for instance, here we want to add I plus plus. Then if we do this, if we run this right now, we'll see 10 do something. It is said do something because we haven't necessarily told it to print I. Okay, so for us to do that, you can see, just see print I, and if we now run that, let me comment the do while for readability and things to be more clear to see. Nice. So we can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So uh, I believe you can see the difference between the for loop and the while and do while loops, like, and you can also maybe choose your preference, which one would you write with more than the other. I love for loops, like, just clean. So I want to introduce another keyword. We have the continue keyword. We say the break keyword. What the break keyword does, it stops a loop from executing further, right? Now, a break keyword now, on the other hand, what a break keyword does is, oh, no, sorry, a continue keyword, what a continue keyword omits a particular value or just says, all of these one, good to go, apart from this one culprit, this one criminal, this one goon. Yes, I said that, goon. So let's say in this particular statement, 5 is our goon. We don't want to goon to run with the other elements, right? So we want to exclude 5. How will we do that in action? We would say we now introduce an if statement. Remember, in our last video we talked about conditionals, if statement, and here you can apply it. So if I, so like I is the one that, like, the value that is being iterated over. So if at some point in your iteration, brother, across a value that is number 5, with all due respect, please just tell them to see me. Okay, or tell them to see me, and continue. So if we run this at the moment, we would find, wait for it, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and you might say, Olvin, you're a liar. You
And it is at this point where my microphone decided to fail me, but it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. I was just trying to explain why the continue was ignored and it still printed out 5 regardless. So what was happening is that you see how the loop works. The first print is treated as a priority, and then it gets printed out first of all before moving to the next statement, which was checking if I is equals to 5. So what we needed to do is give this second statement a priority, like the key, the master key to do things. And it once we enable it that, what we needed to do is just to move print at the bottom, so it enables the if statement to become a priority, and then the print comes after that. So once we do that, and if we run the code, we will we are guaranteed to see right now that 5 has been omitted out. I'm just pleading to y'all not to crucify me because of omitting that one. I was just trying to explain to y'all that how these precedents and priorities work. But now that's done. Let's run the code and we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So clearly our 5 is not there. 5 has been omitted out. Thanks to the continue. So round of applause for continue. Let's clap for continue. Clap for continue, everybody. So yeah, I think that was that. We've covered most of the things today in about loops and iteration. So I think there's more to what we have just discussed right now. You can go and research, maybe do more diggings. And if you have suggestions, comment down, like, and share the video. And don't forget to subscribe, please, for more content. They're coming up. They're coming up. We're almost starting with Flutter very soon. And yeah, I would like to give this ride with y'all. Anyways, that was it for today. And hope to see you next time, guys. So till next time, goodbye. Ciao. Okay.